So this is Hawkesbury Junction, where it all began, where the Zander started. So we've got the Oxford Canal out to the right and the Coventry Canal to the left, and they join here at Hawkesbury. Now I'll tell you more about the story, but this is apparently where it all began. And I have caught Zander here before. It's supposed to be absolutely rammed with them, so we'll give it a go and see. Well, here we are, Hawkesbury Junction, and as I mentioned earlier, fishing for Zander. Now, a little bit I know about Hawkesbury Junction is there are Zander here because I've caught them before. Not big ones, and maybe just under £3, I think. But this is where the fisherman's tale sort of begins, and depending on the variation of the story. There were some Zander being moved allegedly from Coombe Abbey, not a million miles away from here, to be stocked somewhere else, and the person or persons moving them got spooked and ended up dumping them here in Hawkesbury Junction, and that's how they allegedly got into the Midlands canals. Whether there's any truth to that or not, I don't know, but these Midlands canals are absolutely perfect for them. They are stuffed with silverfish, although you wouldn't think it today because I can't catch any for bait, but they have been jumping. But you know, they've got a network. Behind me is the Oxford. This is the Coventry. You've got Atherstone to my right, Coventry to my left, Rugby, and they've kind of spread out from here. So yeah, they're fairly prolific. Now, a lot of people don't particularly like Zander, and I think this whole they decimate waters is a bit of a myth, because I'm trying to catch some small baits, because I made a bit of boo-boo with dead baits. I've just grabbed some baits out the freezer this morning, and I only picked up trout. I wanted some small silvers, and I thought I'd got one of each, and I've not. I've got just trout. So I've been trying to catch some small fish for bait. But anyway, yeah, so I've been down this stretch of canal in the summer, and it is absolutely stacked with roach, rods, bream, silver bream, perch, ruff. It's absolutely full of fish. So yeah, the Zander don't decimate waters as they sort of think. Now, sections of this get electrofished quite heavily, and again, you know, don't believe everything you see on the social media as gospel, but I do think that it doesn't have the desired effect. It doesn't remove them, certainly, because if it did, why would you need to do it every year? It certainly doesn't seem to sort of reduce the numbers. What it does seem to do is take out the larger fish, in the same way as you know, if you were trapping crayfish, I mean, they're against that now because they believe that it's taking out the larger males and you get a population explosion, and that's what you seem to see on these electrofished stretches of canal. There's a lot of small toothpicks, as we call them, small Zander, and I've not seen one out of a canal over £4. Now, the local River Trent to me, and places like the Severn and the Avon, that seem to have a left alone population of Zander, is you have significantly fewer fish, but much larger, and they seem to fit a niche. So, you know, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Yeah, if anybody wants to comment that my opinion is wrong, that's their opinion, and their opinion is equally wrong. But certainly, yeah, from fisheries I've seen, they don't seem to decimate populations in the way people would think. And they're certainly not the mass murderers they once were believed to be. So yeah, that's my kind of opinion on Zander. So how's it going this morning? It is 25 to 2. As I mentioned, I set off this morning at 7:15. Took me a lot longer to get here. I wish I'd have set off at 6, because I'd have missed a load of traffic, but we're here. And I'm trying to just catch some bait, really. Some little roach or perch or little skimmers. Just fishing close in on maggots. It's quite coloured here, so the fish should come quite close. And there's been a few fish chopping. But all I had so far is four decent perch on single maggot down the edge. So it's heaps of blank. But I don't know, the biggest was maybe a pound. The average is probably 6-8 ounces. So too big for bait. So I've just popped them back. But yeah, I've tried fishing down the middle, where I'd seen some, potentially silvers topping, with no joy, and so I tried down the edge, and of course the old perch. I was looking for something that sort of size, really, but yeah. I mean, back in the days when the canals were full of gudgeon, they would be perfect. But there we go. Nothing we can say about that. I think the one thing people say about Zander as well, going back to their persecution, is that they decimated the gudgeon. Now, I have a theory on gudgeon. So, God, 35 years ago, I was doing the maths in my head. I used to fish the Grand Union Canal at Loughborough, and me and a mate used to go and fish gudgeon matches on there. And the way we fished the matches was, it was the first to catch 100 gudgeon. Very rarely did we see a roach, or certainly no perch. We didn't see anything. It was just gudgeon. And I remember when my mate caught a roach once, quite a decent one. We were gobsmacked and all excitable by it. But if you got to think, not 40 years ago, maybe a little longer, perch were nearly wiped out by a virus. In all but a few sort of isolated places. And perch are probably your main predator across all fisheries in the UK. They're in pretty much everywhere, and they were virtually wiped out. And by them being wiped out, you're going to get an upsurge of things like little roach, little rod, skimmers, and of course gudgeon. And I think the gudgeon that I was catching as a kid, and many of us reminisce about catching loads of, were down to the fact the perch numbers weren't there, and now the perch numbers have recovered, and certainly by the mid to late 90s have recovered, and now I remember a £2 perch used to be a massive fish, along with a £2 roach, but equally I've caught perch to nearly £3 now, and I know people regularly catch them to £4, and they're not all that uncommon. And I do think that is down to, them recovering. But as a result, you don't get large masses of gudgeon in the canals and the rivers where the perch have kind of kept on top of them. So that's my theory on that. I don't know, just jabbering away while waiting for something to happen. But yeah, let's see if we can get something. Just want a small bait. I mean, so on that rod there, just got a little 5 gram pike float, really light fishing for Zander. Sort of inline, little bullet weight to a fluorocarbon hook length, size 8 treble, and I've just chopped a trout down to about 4 inches, which I still think is a bit big. This bit here, and I'm on fluoro because I prefer that for Zander as a hook length. But this bit here, I've caught very few. Well, I've certainly not caught any pike out of this bit here. I've had, I think, maybe one a bit further down, possibly 2. But it's not prolific with them, so I'm fairly confident that if we were to get a pike, you know, we would be able to sort of get it out. But if all of a sudden, yeah, we do start catching numbers of pikes, I haven't fished it for 12 months, then I would certainly change over to wire. So yeah, for the moment, just that float, and we're going to wait and see if we can catch some baits, and then I should have put one out just on a lead as well, or maybe a little dead bait or half a dead trout dead bait. So yeah, really annoyed. Wanted to pick up some roach this morning out the freezer, and I just picked up 2 packs of trout. Served me right for not being prepared. The reason I've come around this side is I've caught them here before, and 2, there is a bit of wind, so it is a little bit out of the wind, and a bit of shade, so hoping that plays in my favour. Interestingly, I just picked up a pint and a half pint of red and whites mixed. And the last perch I caught had a load of maggots in its gob, but just red ones. Not eating any whites, just got a gob full of reds, which are my favourite colour. But yeah, quite bizarre. So, as is the way, I decided not to go on the river. We've had a load of rain beginning of the week. Well, no, not a load, but a fair amount of rain. River levels come up. And, yeah, just being warm today, and the temperature's due to drop away early next week. I thought I'd give this a go. And now I'm regretting my choices, to be fair. Considering all the right baits and things, but we shall see. A friend of mine was here 3 weeks ago and reckons he caught loads on dead baits, small roach heads, roach tails, but it was significantly warmer. And again, Zander theory, they're not, I don't think they're a prolific winter predator. I think they are much easier to catch in the summer. I think they're more active, and they are very tricky to catch in the winter. The same way, you know, look how when you're sort of match fishing or float fishing or feeder fishing on the rivers in the summer, you know, you can be winding the feed across the top and a pike will come and smash at the feeder. You know, they're just super active. Metabolism's high. I think the same is true of Zander, and they do slow right down. I mean, they are catchable in the winter. Don't get me wrong, and then I understand the reason we fish with pikes sort of be October onwards, because they are very oxygen sensitive fish. So yeah, they don't handle well in the summer. So yeah, it's we tend to predator fish over the winter because they got to eat. Interesting thoughts. Yes. Well, finally caught some fresh bait. A bit better size. A little bream. So let's see if that produces anything. Those trout have been around a while. That's gone. As I dropped it. Oh, it was Zander. Can't believe that. It's bloody dropped it. Wasn't a very big one though. Damn it. Well, trying to catch bait, and I've had about six of these. Let's fetch one for the camera. Probably about a pound. It's a very rough one. Something's grabbed it, but there's a few of these fellas around. Yeah, look, something's grabbed him there. And definitely a bit of a warrior. It was fairly recent as well. Could be a pike, maybe. Don't know, but bobbing back. There's 5 of them. I don't mind catching them so much. Not a problem really. Oh. But single maggot. It'll do. Not the intended species, but can't complain. Caught a few. It's been tough. What a lovely day. There's fish chopping all over. So I look down the canal, I can see fish topping left, right and centre. That's off. Someone's picked that up. I think it's very big. Ooh. Have we done it? I don't know what it is. Have we done it? Last knockings. Feels on. I think it is a Zander. It is a Zander. It is a Zander. And he's in. He's in. Yes. Oh, I can't believe that. Oh. It's unbelievable. Look at that. Literally, last knockings. Oh. He's a live little chap. Ow. Right. Let's get him unhooked. There we go. Little bitty Zander. I think we'll call that a day. So, time to do the maths on what the trip cost us. So in total, trip cost, day ticket from Tussie's Angling was a day ticket at £5. I spent another £2.90 and a half pints of red and white maggots in the view to catching some bait, and travel came in at a total of £51.30, worked out at the 45 pence per mile, which takes into account fuel, insurance, MOT, and all the other sort of associated running costs. So yeah, the total for the day has come in at a whopping £58.49. Wow, it's the grainy the van review. What a tough day. So probably I think January, February, maybe even March last time I fished here, and I think I blanked then, or I had some very small toothpicks drop off. So yeah, got one in the end. Hard work, worked really hard for that. I think the bait situation really didn't help, but yeah, that one bait I did manage to catch did get picked up literally 10 minutes after dark. So I think what I've learned today is fishing during the day it's pretty pointless. I think it is, yeah, maybe sort of get here early afternoon, and if it's mild or less cold, sort of fish a couple hours into dark. It's not a long walk from the van, and it's fairly comfortable, and there's quite good light there, so I think it would be manageable. So yeah, it'd be interesting. Something I've never done is fished into dark, or certainly at night for Zander. So they do seem to come on that last hour. I lost one about 20 past 2, and then 4:45 or even 5 o'clock. It went just as I was about to pack up. So I think I've been quite spawny with the last couple of species videos. So yeah, but now rush hour traffic all the way home, and I'm busting for a pee, so a bit of a mission to see if I can make it all the way back without having to stop for a pee. Wish me luck.